There were 689 upvotes on Anthropic's first big signal that export controls are lifted for Fable 5 and Mythos. And the same post says routine Fable 5 coding and debugging still fall back to Opus 4.8 for now. Today's briefing is a quick pass on policy, infrastructure, and workflow changes that can change what your teams ship this quarter. Anthropic has lifted export controls on Claude Fable 5 and Mythos, with access restoration being staged and cloud availability expected to come back gradually. At the same time, Anthropic is explicitly routing some routine coding and debugging on Fable 5 to Opus 4.8 to reduce false positives. For teams using these models, this is a direct reminder to harden API routing and assume model behavior can change during rollout, not just once, but across calls. Model releases are becoming less about a clean switch and more about staged reliability contracts, so your stack should expect temporary dual routing as the normal state. ByteDance is building a 39B AI data center campus in Ceará, Brazil, with 1 GW of capacity, positioned as its largest facility outside China. That scale and a free trade zone signals a real infrastructure pivot toward Brazil and broader regional capacity. If your systems are latency sensitive or cost sensitive, this shifts where you should evaluate placement, routing, and residency assumptions. Production teams should treat this as an architecture trigger, not just market news. The infrastructure race is no longer theoretical. Compute geography is becoming a first-class product decision. Google Copybara is getting strong developer attention as a way to streamline heavy cross-repo moves, with 209 upvotes and 36 comments. It is aimed at reducing manual migration risk across mirrored repos and complex promotion chains. For teams running mirrored, vendor, or branch-heavy workflows, that directly maps to fewer cherry-pick errors and cleaner history. The practical takeaway is to test migration configs in dry run mode before any production move. If your migration process still depends on manual copy discipline, your release quality is already at the mercy of individual operators. A browser-based Kubernetes approach via ngrok is drawing active interest with 265 upvotes and 80 comments, showing developers want less friction cluster workflows. The idea is to interact with Kubernetes in browser in contexts where full native setup is overhead. That can speed onboarding and day-to-day operations when security and access models are right. The key is to prove usability in staging while validating permissions before broad adoption. A faster path into cluster access only wins if your trust boundaries are explicit. Otherwise, you're just moving complexity from setup to security theater. Wayve's 85 million employee tender offer sits alongside an 8.5 billion valuation context, with coverage framing it as a strategic talent. Retention move. It is less a model story and more a signal about who can hold and attract AI and robotics talent. That matters for dev leaders choosing where to build, hire, and partner, because talent concentration drives tooling momentum and collaboration ecosystems. Keep this on your radar when shaping recruiting and roadmap dependencies. In AI right now, retention strategy is competitive advantage, and the teams that keep people usually keep the technical edge. If this helps your team stay ahead of the next shift, follow and subscribe, because the link's in the description.